Hello everyone, welcome back to Current Economy and Investment Insights. Today is January 25th, 2021. And as usual, Paul Munico from Ameriprise is in his studio at home to keep distance from us. And I'm Ron Jankowski in the studio at Channel 4 in Palos Heights. And I'm going to have Paul take it away and give us an update as to what happened in the marketplace. And I will be back with current information that Ameriprise had shared with us this morning. Paul, take it away.
Okay, Ron, thanks a lot. Today we're going to talk about manufacturing's recovery despite the current COVID outbreak. So let's go ahead and begin. Manufacturing activity in the US and elsewhere dropped significantly last spring amid the initial stages of the COVID-19 outbreak. Most non-essential manufacturers were asked to close, which resulted in an unprecedented 20.8% drop in total U.S. manufacturing output over the span of just 2 months. That's all according to the Federal Reserve data. Manufacturers, though, have been recovering over the months since, with their operations supported by solid end demand and low inventory levels. Even as the world struggles through what has become the worst COVID-19 outbreak yet, the recovery in manufacturing activity has continued as producers are in a better position to protect workers via personal protection equipment and protocols. Also, aggregate demand for goods remains ahead of available supply in many categories. Just over the last month, most global auto manufacturers have reported having to moderate production schedules due to semiconductor shortages. As we all know, the current COVID situation has led to increased business activity restrictions on a host of service sector businesses, most of whom were still far from being fully reopened, since their initial shutdowns. However, as seen in our fact-check data, the nation's manufacturing sector has continued its broad recovery. In December, most measures showed the sector continuing its recovery with strong month-over-month gains in key components such as new orders, production levels, and overall business activity. The ongoing gains have not been isolated to the U.S. markets. Markets Purchasing Managers Index PMI for the Eurozone expanded at a 2.5-year high in December, and PMI measurements in Asia have reflected continuing expansions as well. In Japan, markets business activity hit a 19-month high, while activity in China expanded for an 8th straight month, but at a slower pace than the record PMI score registered in November. Their PMI measure for China started in January of 2018. So it's nice to see the recovery in manufacturing. That certainly could help our economy and potentially could help our stock market. And based on the PMI numbers we're seeing all in the other countries that I just explained, looks like we could potentially see their economies improving too. So at least for economic reasons and potentially stock market reasons, that could be good news. But we will have to wait and see. Back over to you, Ron.
And thank you, Paul, for the update. Ameriprise had sent in the current information to share with you. As of this morning, the U.S. stock index futures are mixed, with the NASDAQ and the S&P 500 futures higher, while the Dow Industrial and Russell 2000 are pointing to a weaker open this morning. The U.S. Treasury yields are higher as investors are eyeing on the efforts to pass the proposed $1.9 trillion economic stimulus plan. And stocks in Asia open the week higher, with Hong Kong Hang Seng Index leads the gains with a 2.4% advance. Now, the year-to-date index returns are very interesting. The S&P 500 is now at plus 2.35%. The Dow Jones is a 1.37%, and the Nasdaq is a year-to-date plus 5.10%. All really going into the right direction for a possible gain again in the stock market. Stay with us. We will be right back with Your Money. Paul usually has a topic of interest. We'll be right back. And we're back with Your Money, where hopefully you'll be interested in some of the topics that Paul Munichol has from Ameriprise. And today is another interesting topic. Stay with us, and Paul will be taking it from there.
Okay, thanks for staying with us, and thanks for turning it back over to me, Ron. Today, I want to talk about retirement planning and just hit it from a different angle. So I want to talk about maybe conducting a dress rehearsal before retiring. So let's go ahead and begin. You know, two emotions are likely to strike those who are nearing retirement: excitement and fear. Leaving the world of alarm clocks and offices and having time to pursue your own passions on a daily basis is liberating. But the apprehension of entering a new life stage can easily creep in. Although work-related stress will disappear, the responsibility of filling each week in a satisfying way can be a challenge. Top that off with the ever-present concern about long-term financial security in retirement, and the nerves can grow even greater. The truth is, feeling excitement and fear is okay. But what if your retirement isn't everything you envisioned it to be before you left the workforce? What if life after work turns out to be far different from your expectations? To answer those questions, maybe you should consider a practice run. What I mean by that is, if you're nearing retirement, you've likely taken steps to prepare financially for the future. But there's one important thing you might have considered adding to your pre-retirement checklist: a practice run. Now, how you choose to spend your time, and in many cases your money, in retirement is your decision to make. But it's not always an easy one. As we age, our interests, our hobbies, our relationships, they all change. What you may consider your ideal retirement when you're 55 may not fit when you're 65. This evolution can make it hard to plan accurately for retirement. To the extent you've made a financial commitment to a certain lifestyle, this can pose real problems. If you've already committed a significant amount of savings toward a particular lifestyle, maybe a home in another part of the country or even a trip around the world, changing your mind in 10 or 15 years could throw a big wrench in your long-term financial plan. Those who have based their financial plan for retirement on the idea that they will be living in a new location may benefit from a practice run before making the big move. It's natural to change your mind about what you want, but it's better to understand the potential implications of changing your mind before you actually retire, as it can have unintended consequences. So, for example, consider an individual who has lived his entire life in New York, but moves to Florida when he retires, where taxes and cost of living are generally lower. Deciding after several years to relocate back to New York to be near family, where the cost of living and tax rates differ, can mean that dollars he's saved will have to be reallocated, and his savings may not go as far as he planned. The idea of practicing retirement may also mean leaving the 40-hour work week for something that's more part-time. Some people may want to take a part-time role with their current employer, or work as a consultant to continue experiencing the challenge of work. This also can offer important financial benefits that help preserve their nest egg. Finally, take time for a financial rehearsal. Practice can also be beneficial in another way, simulating how to manage your expenses in retirement. The idea that your cash flow no longer comes from a reliable paycheck, but from other sources like Social Security and personal savings can come as a shock, even to those who are well prepared for this change. One idea to accomplish this is to run 2 accounts for a certain period of time. Through one account, manage all your household and financial expenses that you expect during retirement. This includes the costs of necessities like food, clothing, shelter, utilities, taxes, and insurance, as well as nice-to-have items like going out to dinner, traveling, etc. Now keep in mind, you may have to estimate or inflate your lifestyle expenses for retirement, as they could rise when you have more free time. The best way to get a handle on these expenses is to experience them while you're still working. Maybe take that trip to Europe before retirement and find out firsthand what you can do within your budget. The cost is different than expected. Make adjustments to your financial projections to reflect more accurately and to be more real. Through the second account, manage all your expenses that are expected to end in retirement, like principal and interest on a mortgage payment, should your home be paid off. Current car payments, although car payments can certainly again happen during retirement, and college costs for your kids and contributions to retirement plans. Let's talk about perfecting your life in retirement. A little practice can go a long way toward easing emotional and financial concerns. When it comes to making the jump into retirement, a retirement trial run may not answer all of your questions, and it doesn't necessarily include the unexpected events that can often throw retirement off track. But doing it for 6 months or so can be very beneficial in determining if your budget and lifestyle expectations for retirement are realistic. Consider working with a financial advisor who can help you determine a budget and a retirement income plan that fits your needs and desires for retirement. And as always, if you're working with a financial advisor or planner already, that is great. If you're looking for a second opinion, or you are not working with a financial advisor currently, please feel free to give me a call directly. My number is 708-226-3412. And that'll bring a conclusion to my part of the show today for the second half. I will turn it back over to Ron, and I will see everyone again next week. Have a great week.
And thank you, Paul, for that interesting topic. For Paul Munichel with Ameriprise Financial, myself, Ron Jankowski with Channel 4 in Palos Heights, we wish you good investment day.